Good evening, folks. I was reading a story and I saw it on the internet. I saw it in a group and I tried to validate it by finding the story um, online. That was a pretty. The story was pretty heavy. Um, it was about this young girl, had to be in her 20s, single mother, and people were wondering where she was at. They said they hadn't seen her in a while. When they saw her, when she was visible, she was very jovial. She was very upbeat. Um, people knew when she was around. And come to find out, the lady, the young girl, had died. She had died in the shower, and her 4-year old daughter survived for a week off the ramen noodles and hot dogs. And I'm not joking, I'm not making this up. It's what it said. The daughter had survived off the ramen noodles and and hot dogs the mom had made her previously before she went to the shower, prior to her going to the shower. And the daughter went into the shower because the daughter was 4 years old, went into the bathroom and noticed that her mama wouldn't wake up. And for a week, that child lived off that ramen noodle and what other little food that was left in the house that she could reach. And then that baby ended up eating roaches. And she drank the toilet bowl water for thirst for a week while her mother rotted in the shower. And I was reading that story and I was trying to visualize, and it was very painstaking to visualize that child a week eating roaches. And then I got to thinking, I know a couple of females like this that can't even provide. When I saw hot dogs and ramen, that tells me the financial and social status of that female. Because that's not a very nutritious nor a healthy meal. And then it got me to thinking about the health, how healthy or unhealthy in this case that mother was. To die in the shower, to make ramen noodles and hot dogs, and to go in the shower not knowing she will never see her daughter again, at least on this plane. And then they finally found her. But the kicker for me was that I guess the only relative, I assume that she was the only relative left, or that other relatives just didn't give a damn and just didn't want to fool with her no more. She didn't even want to take her sister's kid, the 4-year-old who survived off toilet bowl water and roaches and ramen noodles and hot dogs and what other little remaining food she could grasp. And I thought that was so sad, man. I thought, what, and she said she didn't want to take her niece because it wasn't her responsibility. And I'm thinking, what kind of person, what kind of relationship did they have to where you knew your sister was slumped up, rotten for a week, and your niece had to eat roaches and drink out the damn commode and then you don't want to take care of her because she's not your responsibility. And I like, man, this is some ignorant ass nigga shit. But you know what's sad? There are thousands of young black single mothers like this all over America. To when you walk in their house, they don't have no furniture. They ain't got no bed frames. They just got mattresses laid up somewhere, ramen noodles, Kool-Aid, and some damn hot dog buns. That's the only thing you gonna find in they refrigerator. But they looking fly though. No, they dressed to death. You see, I point out stories like this to paint pictures. Okay. And after reading these, like I said, I was away on business in the DC area, and then I got to see things for myself, and it kind of confirmed all the things that I talk about. And I saw stuff that was just, just crazy. There are a lot of sick, mentally sick. I'm not necessarily, they may be mentally sick, but you have a lot of mentally sick black people that parade around like they're not. But you can tell, because once you remove yourself, this is why I talked about RZA and people calling him a coon. You see, RZA removed himself from the chaos in many so-called black communities. And he got to see the world for what it was. And his whole perception has changed in a good way. And that's how I felt. I felt very out of place when I was in parts of DC. Like a foreigner. Like I was from another planet. Yeah, these people look like me, but mentally, and not that I'm any better, but mentally they are sick. Mentally sick. You see, the reality is, I don't really subscribe to that label. But I'm more pro-black than many of you. I'm more pro-black than many of you guys and gals. You see, because I don't buy in to the excuses that many of you all, you support these pathologies and these, these ways of doing things. And that's the low-lying fruit. That's the low-hanging fruit. It's easy to do that. It's easy to blame white supremacy. See, that's a catchphrase now. It's cool to call people coons without explaining yourself. So when I say personal responsibility, most fake pro-blacks will, oh, here we go with that coon stuff. But you never offer any explanation of why me saying take personal responsibility equates to being a coon. You just do drive-by comments without any explanation. And I'm like, I grab you by the collar, bring your ass back over here. What do you mean by that? You just ain't gonna pop, you just ain't gonna say nothing and run off at the mouth and try to scurry away. And that's what many of you all do. You don't want to have the tough conversations. You don't. I mean, I look at a lot of black men, and I said I'm selective about brothers I deal with for a good reason. I find that when I think about all the times I was with a lot of black dudes, black men, it was always some shit popped off. And I've expressed that in other videos. I'm not really going to entertain that. But it came to me that I need, in a very early age, that I needed to be selective. Now, some of you all going to say, well, you need to be selective about anybody you dealing with. Not why you got to say black men, just black men. Well, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. This whole, well, they do it too. It just obfuscates the real issue, and it prevents any type of real. Remember, I just said you're not ready to confront nor deal with or have these conversations. When you do things like that, when you say, "Well, other people do it too," that's exactly why folks ain't having these conversations. That's right, goddamn there. That's why we ain't having these conversations. And I said that I look at YouTube as smart as really. Like I said, man, YouTube could fall off the damn market tomorrow. I wouldn't give a good God. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't give a damn. You got, I look at some of these brothers and I'm like, these guys are running around claiming to be pro-black. You got guys who allow other groups of people, call other groups of black people niggers just because they don't like another black person. You have people out here who are disingenuous in their presentation just because they don't like what you said. There's an individual who did a video who said Bill Cosby's guilty. Now, his regular commentary is always leaning in protecting blacks. No matter what, this is the guy who's defended Michael Brown, a known potential cop killer. He's defended Freddie Gray, a known dope dealer. He's defended other black individuals who were always in the wrong. But I found it interesting that he went against Bill Cosby. Now, to me, I've did videos in defense of Bill Cosby, which should tell you this idea that I'm always taking white people's side. I think Bill Cosby's getting railroaded. I think a lot of these women are full of fucking feces, okay? And I've made that known, and I stand by that. But I thought it was interesting that this brother did a video talking down on Bill Cosby. And then I got to think, well, I think instead of him being honest and genuine, he had to go against myself. Because I made a video. Had I made a video against Bill Cosby, I can rest assured that this brother would have did a video in support of Bill Cosby. But see, he has to play his position, which is dishonest. It's disingenuous. Yeah, people on here who are so, so enamored by a certain popular YouTuber that every last video is about that individual. So you have a lot of sociopaths. That's what I'm finding on YouTube. There are a lot of sociopaths on YouTube, in this so-called black area of YouTube. They are so obsessed. They don't have anything of relevance going for them. Hence the videos that pop up at 1 o'clock in the daytime on a Tuesday. Most people like that should be at work. When you're making a barrage of videos like that, I know that you don't have a stable job, or you work at night. But then at the end, I see these videos all times. You really have no stability. You don't really have any, in a nutshell, you don't really have anything going for yourself. And one thing I noticed, a lot of these guys are older than me. I'm 37 years old. I just turned 37 years old last month. A lot of these guys are in their mid-40s, early 40s. And see, these are supposed to be your elders. Remember, I did a video, brothers like to say, well, black men are in the neighborhood. And I talk about quality versus quantity. Oh, yeah. You got a lot of shines running around the so-called black community. You can go anywhere in Sad City, Black City, USA, and you're going to find a bunch of shucking, jiving Negroes at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday or any work day of the week, milling around, shuffling around, being non-productive, not producing anything to society, not producing anything to their so-called community, milling around, drinking, talking shit, smoking cigarettes, looking at cars pass by, just doing absolutely not a goddamn thing. They ain't doing shit. They ain't doing shit. But yet these guys tout themselves to be elders and spokesmen of the so-called black community and being pro-black. Shiftless. Disloyal. It's hard to find a brother who is loyal, who isn't jealous, who isn't envious, who isn't shady or it's hard to find brothers like that these days. Loyal, true, genuine brothers who aren't trying to, not that it's happened to me, who aren't trying to sleep with your girlfriend or wife, who are either trying to set you up. And I find my life to be a lot easier. Look, it's not white people that have given me problems. I find my life much easier by A, being selective about the brothers that I deal with, which there are some brothers that I know who are opposite of what I just described, which is a good thing. You see, there are a lot of black people, they'll deal with low, downtrodden, low frequency Negroes just for the sake of this being around some black folk. Well, these motherfuckers ain't shit, but at least they black. See, I don't do that. I'm not going to deal with some silly, goofy ass niggas just for the sake of them being black. I'm not. See, niggas are like sweets. You shouldn't eat that shit you shouldn't deal with that shit every day. They're only for entertainment. Niggas are funny. Will make you laugh. Niggas are comical. But niggas are not meant to be consumed or fooled with on a daily basis. Because nothing good's going to come out of it. Absolutely nothing. But yeah, a lot of these brothers are older than me. I mean, I know guys, black men, that are my age who led thousands of troops as hundreds of troops as first sergeants, sergeant majors around my age. Brothers who are in charge for the training of hundreds of other people who are responsible for the livelihood of hundreds and thousands of other people. And then when I get on YouTube and I see guys older than them, unkept, non-productive, talking about each other's mothers, talking about each other's wives, trying to get information on others. But yet see, I've said this and I've said it again. I refuse, and there ain't no goddamn way in hell you gonna tell me and that these people, I refuse to let those folks label me as a coon. You understand what I'm saying? There is no way in hell that I'm gonna let that shit fly. Ain't no way. So I mean, and the way I can see how a lot of younger black kids, youth, they don't respect Negroes like that. And when you got a lot of Negroes, remember I said quality versus quantity. When you have run-of-the-mill shines like this running around, who the fuck are these kids supposed to look up to? Think about it. Would you rather have your kids look up to someone like me? And I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, but I'm not doing the shit that they do. In the end, would you rather have someone like me teach and instruct young black men, or somebody who says they're going to piss in some kid's mouth, or people who are driving around and parading low-valued vehicles like it's good? Or shines that get on social media and flash money like they ain't never had shit. Or guys that promote the trickery of people out of their tax refunds. Guys who get up here and call men all type of bitchs and you know they gay and all this. Would you rather have those guys? And some of you all know who these guys are. Deep down, let's be real, goddamn. Would you rather have me leading your son and how to be successful in life, or them motherfuckers over there? Think about it. Be honest with yourself now. I need you to be honest. Despite my views, which really, it shouldn't really give a damn because they're my opinions, who would you rather have guide your son or your daughter to be productive, passionate, fearless persons of society? Me or those guys who, and you know, I got to tell, I've been saying this since 2010 when I had another group coming out of me, after me. I said, these guys' alliances are so faulty. And see, this is why the fake cohesion, one shine will be at another shine's throat one day. Next thing you know, they best buddies. They doing videos together. They meeting up together. Next thing they know, next week, I'm a have sex with your wife and put it on social media. Or I'm a urinate in your daughter's mouth. Next thing they buddies. And I've seen so much unfold, but I don't say nothing. I've seen individuals, I've been in positions where I could have told certain YouTubers, that shit ain't gonna last long. The little shit y'all doing right here, this little alliance y'all got right here, I knew that shit wasn't gonna last long. I knew. But see, you gotta let folks fall on their sword though. That's what you gotta do with certain people. And let them experience and learn from that. So this is why, you know, you're really the laughing stock. A lot of black men. You're the laughing stock, and you're pathetic, and they know that. And you see, when you don't go back and forth with that buffoonery, back and forth, tit for tat, they don't know how to deal with you. And I notice that about black folk. When you begin to talk with some sense and you ain't bowing up and acting a nigga like them, they don't know how to deal with you. They don't know how to deal with a black person that does that. You see, I ain't going to argue with you. I ain't going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stain your ass with videos like this. And I ain't got to drop no names. If it don't apply, let it fly. It is what it is. You can take it how you want, partner. You see, I notice, and then I think about black, you know, this black everyday nigga violence, this stupid little shit in the neighborhood, arguing over this, arguing over that. It manifests right here on YouTube. This shit these shines do on YouTube is exactly the shit you see on the streets in any said black so-called community in America. Petty, senseless, childish, pointless bickering for no reason. No reason at all. Like kids. And I said a lot of black folk in America are like fucking goddamn kids. They need to be fucking monitored. They need to be pushed. You know, they can't do shit. They can't do shit without somebody putting a foot up their ass. And soon as the adult walk out the goddamn room, here these niggas acting up and cutting up. This is exactly what I mean. And they even like with police. Police look at black folks like fucking children. You're a nuisance. And that's why they do the things they fucking do to you. Because you don't know how to control yourself. You don't know how to shut the fuck up and listen. So, I'm hard pressed to really sympathize with a lot of the bullshit that people try to make up like it's white supremacy. No, it ain't. It's because you got to have the last goddamn word and can't shut your fucking mouth. And get on about your business. Like you running shit, like you in control of shit. You see, that's why I do and say the things I say. But again, like I said, who would you rather have lead your son or daughter, me or those other guys? Peace.